Welcome to uncoupling and coupling a truck from a trailer, or unhitching and hitching as it's also called. Firstly, here in the cab, you must exhaust the air from the brakes on the trailer by pulling the red valve. That applies the brakes on the trailer to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Now that we've applied the brakes on the trailer by pulling the red button out on the dash, we're going to work our way from the back to the front in the unhitch process. I'm going to start by lowering the landing gear, or the legs. Before I get too much pressure on the legs, I'm going to go under and pull the release handle and then come back and put these fully on the ground. I'm going to use the secondary gear now, which will make it easier to continue winding and get the legs fully on the ground so that they are stable. You will hear the air escaping from the airbags. Keep going a few turns until they're firm. We are on a slant on the side of the road, that's why it's taking a little bit longer. That should be enough. Let's put the handle down safely. I'm now going to remove the air lines and the electrical cord from the front of the trailer. What I need to do now is I need to move the truck forward 6 inches so that the kingpin comes out of the jaws so that when I lower the airbags, it doesn't get caught. We can hear the airbags lowering now. What we're looking is for the gap to appear between the fifth wheel or the plate and the trailer. What we call looking for daylight. As the truck lowers and the trailer remains at its normal height, you will get the gap. Then you are able to drive out from underneath the trailer and reinflate the airbags as I will do now. What you can see now are the airbags reinflating with the suspension coming back up, which allows the vehicle to be driven away. Hitching back up to the trailer. The first reference point when hitching back up to the trailer is to reverse your prime mover into this position and stop before the guards go underneath the trailer. The way to line it up is by using the edge of your guards along the edge of your trailer. The prime mover is as wide as the trailer, so it's easy to line it up. Make sure you stop before you go underneath. This will ensure that you don't cause any damage to the plate or the guards. The next step is to lower your airbags to make sure that the plate is actually going to fit underneath the trailer, and I'll do that now. As the airbags deflate, the back end of the prime mover will come down, allowing your plate to fit underneath, as I mentioned earlier. Once you have that position, you can then reverse back underneath the trailer, but not too far. What we want to do is we want to locate the kingpin inside the V of the plate, or the fifth wheel as they call it. The reference point I'm going to use for that is I'm going to reverse back until the front end of the trailer is around about here on my guard. And then I'm going to stop and get out and check where the pin is in relation to the plate. With the airbags down, I've now reversed underneath the trailer and I've located the pin inside the V. I check that to make sure that it's okay to raise the airbags, which it is. I'm now going to raise up the airbags and then come back out. Now that the airbags are coming up, the plate has met the trailer. What I need to do now is I need to lift the landing gear or the legs a couple of centimetres off the ground so that when I reverse to connect onto the kingpin, I don't do any damage to my landing gear. So gloves on. Secondary gear. Get the legs just off the ground. Now return to the driver's cab, select reverse and reverse until the two units are connected. The release handle will go in and the jaws will come across the pin. Once you reverse onto the pin and it hitches up, you need to perform a tug test. And that's putting it into a forward gear, bringing the clutch up gently so that you can test the coupling to make sure that it is secure. Next thing to do is to check the handle to make sure that it has gone in and that the jaws actually have gone around the pin. So it's just a visual check. Once I'm happy with that, I can either put my legs up first or put my airlines on first, whatever suits. As long as it's done and it's done safely, at this point it doesn't matter. I'm going to put my gloves on and I'm going to put my legs up first so that I don't forget them. Wind them all the way up, get them off the ground. Go back a turn to put the handle away so that it doesn't stick. Now we can connect up the airlines and the electrical lead. When connecting these up, Make sure that you have them in the unlock position. Push and connect, and then lock the coupling. Same as on this one. Make sure you have it in the unlock position. Push it onto the connection, and then lock it. The electrical lead can only go in one way with a little cutout to the bottom. What I need to do now is I need to check all my electricals, my lights, my brakes, my tyres on the trailer, etc. So I'm just going to go into the cab, turn the headlights on, put the right indicator on. Now at this point in time, if you've never seen the trailer before, it's only the trailer that we're interested in inspecting. We're going to inspect it for its tyres, its registration, any damage, and all of its lights. Look for any signs of damage. Lights are all working along the side. Tyres are inflated. The inflation valve is central on the spider rims. Coming around the rear, checking for its registration, that the load is secure and the doors are shut. All lights are working, the tail lights are working, the right indicator's working. We have the correct signage on the back. Exactly the same thing down the other side. Now returning to the cab, I'll change the indicator over to the left side and I'll pull a trailer brake lever down in order to check the brake lights as well. Now that I've changed the indicator over, I've pulled the trailer brake lever down, which activates the brake lights. We have brake lights at the rear and we have the left indicator as well. The last thing I'm going to do on my hitch and unhitch, or couple and uncouple as we call it, is to perform a rolling brake test. I'm going to drive the vehicle forwards and then I'm going to isolate the brakes on the trailer using the trailer lever to ensure that I have a good adjustment in my trailer brakes and that everything is working and rolling smoothly. The last trip around, check the hazard lights and supply the air to the trailer by pushing the red valve button in on the dash to make sure that you have no air leaks. And I've chosen to turn the vehicle off for this simply just so that we can determine whether or not we do have any of those leaks. It doesn't matter if you leave the vehicle running or not. This is just the last stage of unhitch and hitch.